DeAndre Swift is a bad mother humper.
Dallas still stinks.
Yo, how you going? King Dingbat here, and welcome to the Victory Celebration Room, better known as my garage, where we come out each and every week the Eagles win to smoke a cigar, which is every week. Now, we can't sit there and just say, we're going to smoke in the house tonight, because if I do that, the wife will double moonwalk my ass, and you'll find me in my own blood and piss on the floor somewhere. We can't have that. So every night we come out here, we enjoy what Earth has to offer on the outside, and we smoke a stogie for the Eagles who won. And as you guys all know, we always dedicate these cigars to the Eagle players that I think deserve it. And tonight, I got another special person I'm going to dedicate it to. Reverend Bebop, whose cigar is right here, who made this wonderful cigar box. Look how beautiful that is. This thing is tremendous. I'm so honored. Thank you, cigar. You're involved in this cigar along with other Eagle players. Now, when I think about this game, I think this is one of those games where there are so many players, in my opinion, that deserve props and praise. Not necessarily just the stars. Some of the stars do, some of the young studs do. But there are a lot of guys I thought, stepped up tonight. And I hope that this video will do all of them justice, and we'll be able to talk about as many of them as I can remember off the top of my head. But this cigar, tonight, I'm dedicated to all those unsung heroes. I'm also dedicating it to the Eagles offensive line that just destroyed Tampa. I'm also dedicated it to the best defensive tackle tandem that we have seen in a long time, Jordan Davis and Jalen mother humping Carter. And of course, DeAndre Swift, who is a bad mother humper. He's in on this. A.J. Brown, all the guys. You were awesome tonight. You did what we had to do. 3-0. This cigar is for you. Let's light this bad mother humper up. Light this cigar like Mark Holmes is lighting up the Dallas Cowboys season. It's gone. It's gone. It tastes so good. It tastes so good when it touches your lips. It's absolutely tremendous. Oh, this is a good one. I like this, Reverend Bebop. This is a good one. No doubt about it. Put that lighter right there, that mother humper. Big win for the Birds. And the odds score, what did they call it? A smorgasbord or something, meaning no score has ever come out that way in the NFL before. 25-11. Never happened. But the Eagles are 3-0. And what's so great about this 3-0 is every team in the division lost this week. Every team but the Eagles. And that's important because, and somebody like fireworks. But that's important because you never know down the road when you have a loss that you shouldn't have. It's good to have those stored for a rainy day, Pile up the wins. Pile up the wins. Like Mark Holmes is piling up chicken bones after what happened to Dallas last night. I thought the Eagles played the best game they have all season. Was it perfect? No. It was not perfect. I'm not going to sit there and tell you it was perfect. No. But it was much better than the first 2 weeks. I thought the offense was moving the ball effectively between the 20s. Got to work and fix the red zone. No question about it. Got to score touchdowns. And it's something that I think that they'll do. I think the Eagles will get better and better as the year goes by. I know a lot of people complain about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts threw an interception. Jalen Hurts threw an interception. Listen, players throw interceptions sometimes. Things happen. When it's all said and done and this year's over, Jalen Hurts is going to be just fine. Jalen Hurts won again. He's a winner. Winners find ways to win. Good teams find ways to win. Now let's face it, the Eagles dominated. They dominated the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Oh, the big bad Tampa Bay Buccaneers and their run defense. Be scared. I don't think so. The Eagles' offensive line destroyed them. Destroyed them. And let me say this. DeAndre Swift is a bad mother humper. He is. DeAndre Swift is an upgrade over Miles Sanders. And I don't mean that disrespectfully to Miles Sanders in the least. I love Miles Sanders. But this kid's on another level. And we have only seen half of his game. Do you realize we haven't even seen him in the passing game yet? Imagine when that gets going. And, in that first interception, let's be honest, there was a miscommunication. I don't know if Swift ran the wrong way or not, but there was miscommunication. Those things get worked out. They get worked out. So, DeAndre Swift is your number one back, and it's not even close. And you got to start treating him like he is. And we got to find a way to keep him, because I really want to get an Agent Zero jersey, but I can't do it if he's going after 1 year. DeAndre Swift was awesome. Offensive line, awesome. Cam Jurgens, best game I think he's played so far. It's getting a little cooler. It's starting to cool up a little bit. It's still hot. I still can't wait till it gets cold. I like when it's cold. I like when you're out here and you can see your breath. I like it like that. I hate this heat. Gotta tell you, who the hell's over there? I don't know what the hell they're freaking doing. But yeah, the Eagles, big win, big win. This was a great chance to jump ahead of the division, take advantage early in the year. We got a big game on Sunday. That Washington game is not going to be easy. It's going to be a tough game. Division games are always tough, and I expect it. But I loved the way the offensive line played tonight. I love the way DeAndre Swift. And listen, I know people think like, oh, you don't like Kenneth Gainwell. I like Kenneth Gainwell. I do. It just because I like Swift a lot doesn't mean I dislike Gainwell. When you say you like a specific player, doesn't mean you hate the other player. It's not always you have to love this player and you have to hate that player. It's not like that. I like Gainwell a lot, but when I look and what I see and when I look at my eye test, DeAndre Swift's another level. There's another level with him, the way he explodes and accelerates through that whole pause. He does a hell of a job. What is that light in the sky? That's a plane. It's blinking. I'm convinced that one of these days I'm going to be doing this, and a giant mothership is going to be hovering, and we're going to catch it live. Hopefully those little bastards don't take me. If they do, I'm going to fight them. I'm going to kick them. I'm going to punch them. I'm going to gouge their eye out. Those little gray bastards, they better not mess with me, because I ain't playing. I'll be telling them like this. See, you can't talk to them. They don't hear. They don't talk. You have to talk them out mind. And I'll be saying, I'm going to kick your bastard asses. Don't mess with me. I'll gouge your big old eyeballs out. I don't care. ET better not phone home here. Go somewhere else. But, that's a plane. But anyways. So what was I saying? So yeah, I thought the offensive line, I think, I like Kenneth Gainwell. I think he's a good back, but I think DeAndre Swift's the number one guy. And I understand maybe the Eagles don't use him as much as I want. I thought, all right, the final drive of the game, you put Gainwell. Okay, fine. You didn't want to use him. You didn't need him. You ran the ball 9 minutes. Unbelievable. But in that second quarter, where it was like 3 or 4 straight series where it was like Gainwell, I didn't understand that. This guy is so explosive. He's a threat. And as long as teams keep trying to take the passing game and worry about the Eagles and the receivers, he's going to go off. And I think, shout out to Skid Marks, told me that he's leading the league in rushing after 3 weeks. DeAndre Swift's a stud. Just got to stay healthy. And that's probably part of it. I don't want to say it's not. Still haven't seen Rashad Penny yet. Would like to see him more. But yeah, I mean, that running game is tremendous. And shout out to A.J. Brown. Any doubt A.J. Brown was going to bounce back? We all knew he was going to have a big game. This was all the makings of an A.J. Brown game. Great players respond. great players respond, and that's what he did. And I know my favorite player in the Eagles, Devontae Smith, didn't have the greatest big game, but you're not going to have it every week. You know, it's very hard to give both those guys 8 catches, 130 yards every week. You know, you got to go back and forth. What I like is the complement of the two. You got the real good route runner, speed, great hands, and then you got the big physical, I will run your ass over, can't tackle me, A.J. Brown. I love the complement of those two receivers. I think they're so unique. So, A.J. Brown, I was happy with him, and I know a lot of people weren't happy with Hurts. I'm okay with Hurts. I thought Hurts, I gave him a B. I think he had a B minus, somewhere in there for tonight. I really think the first interception was miscommunication. I thought the second interception probably should have thrown out a little. I have to go watch the play again. Probably should have thrown it a little sooner. I like what the Eagles were trying to do there, and it was essentially a punt. It ended up being a safety. So I'm not worried about Hurts. I really am not. And I know that they're throwing blitzes at him and stuff. What I would like to see, though, I got to tell you, when Hurts is taking a snap on third down, and they're bringing everybody, because Bowles blitzes. I mean, I'm telling you, all day, if he would have took the ball, they brought the blitz, they just waited, delayed little screen pass to Swift. Swift just would have waited there, screen pass. It was 30 yards, nothing there. It was there all day. They didn't use it. The one time they tried to pass to him wasn't in a screen pass. I would like to see a little more of that to beat the blitz, you know. The one play that pissed me off the most, I'll tell you this. The fourth and two, was it? 4th and 2? And they handed off to Gainwell. Why is Gainwell in there at that point? Put Penny in. Did they see? I think that's where they're getting too cute, right? I think that this is what I think the Eagles are thinking. We'll put Gainwell in there 4th and 2, and the Buccaneers will not expect us to run Gainwell of all people on 4th and 2. And they thought they got too cute. Got to get better in the red zone. Got to stop the turnovers in the red zone. Got to stop the penalties in the red zone. You can't have drops in the end zone. We got to be a little better in the end zone, in the red zone, and we will. Hopefully Landon Dickerson's okay. I know he went out. I heard it. I think it's not too bad. But we need him. Cam Jurgens was fantastic too. I thought Cam Jurgens' best game by far. You know, Tampa Bay's defensive line, all that talk, Vita Vea, didn't do shit. I told Sills, right? I was on a show I was on a show, but I was in the chat, and I was saying, he's saying, you think Kelsey's going to take Vita Vea? Who would you take, Kelsey or Vita Vea? I said, I'd take my Hall of Fame center any day of the week. You kidding? Look what he did to him. Boom, 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 walk that ass. You know what I mean? So, it was a great performance. I think could have been better. Should have been 40-11. It should have really been like 37-11, something like that. It was that big of a beatdown. But the Eagles, look, they're playing. I think the Eagles are playing around 70%. I think they played about 70% of what they're capable of today, and they're still beating the crap out of teams. Good teams find ways to win. You know who isn't good? Dallas. They stink. Let me tell you, Dallas Cowboy fans are scared. They're scared right now, and they should be. If you watch the Eagles and what they've done the last 2 weeks running the ball, and then you look at Dallas's run defense, and you look at Arizona did to them, what do you think the Eagles are going to do to you? What do you think the Eagles are going to do to your run game, Dallas? You're going to get destroyed. Mark Holmes better get as many mother humping chicken heads he can. Start slicing, buddy. Start slicing. Less eating and sucking DNA out of chicken bones and start chopping heads, because Dallas got no shot. See, that satanic crap, that satanic shit, that sick shit, we don't play that here. I bless my team every day with holy water. We're protected against you guys and that satanic star. Mark Hobbs, that whole stream they did was a giant, like you could have documentaries for like learning for psychiatrists and stuff. That stream Mark Holmes did a Cowboys game, that was a lesson in how people use food to eat and hide and mask their depression. That's what that stream was. You watch those guys from the beginning to the end of the stream. They come down and starts, oh, we're having these big giant sandwiches. It's like great. Then Dallas starts losing bad. They start eating a little faster, start chewing a little sloppier food all over the place. Then they start chewing some more. Dallas starts losing. We got to get food. It's like Dallas goes for it. They don't get it. They have to punt. They're down 9-3 or something like that. Mark Holmes like, I got to get glizzies. I got to get 2. I'm going to put chili on. I need hot sauce. I need, like, freaking out. They're freaking out. That whole stream of them was one big, fat people can't stop eating because they're depressed because the Cowboys are losing. I'm going to prove it to you, too. You wait. That video, that stream should be sold in universities across the world. How people mask their depression and when their team loses in food. Look at me. You don't think I'm guilty of it? Hell yeah. I'm just not sloppy. I'm just smart enough. I just got enough common sense not to eat on stream. What do you think? I'm stupid? I try to mask my depression. I don't have depression. But I try to mask my anxiety. If I have any, I try to make babies. That's what I like to do. Make babies. Get a lot of energy up, burn a lot of muscle calories. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. You know it. Now, as far as the Eagles' defense went, there's a lot of guys I think that I want to give shout-outs to because I don't want to forget any of these guys. So I'm just going to list some names and then I'm going to talk about some guys. Reed Blankenship, welcome back. Great game. Nicholas Morrow, fantastic game. Zach Cunningham was everywhere. Fantastic game. I thought those guys had a great game. And those linebackers, we have talked a lot about the linebackers. We have stressed a lot about the linebackers. And those guys have come up and play fantastic. Then you have Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. My God. Oh, my God. When I say that A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are the perfect complement for 2 receivers on a team on the opposite side, what do you think Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis are? Like, they're not the same defensive tackle, but they fit each other perfectly. Jordan Davis is a monster. You cannot run on this guy. You cannot run on this guy. And I saw some Cowboy fan actually on Twitter put up Jordan Davis' stats for this season and tried to say, look, in these 2 years, these are his statistics. He's a bust. Are you kidding? Bust? This dude's all pro, one of the best defensive tackles already in the NFL, and he's still learning how to rush the passer. Jordan Davis is a monster. I've never seen running backs full speed running and then boom, like they just like stop, like they hit a wall, stop, and there's Jordan Davis, guys. He's got big ass arms around her neck. He's hitting him like that. Jordan Davis is a monster. I love that guy. I love him. Pause. Then you get Jalen Carter. He could do it all. He can do it all. Jalen Carter is going to be a super mega star. Okay? I think they're both stars. I think they're both perennial all-pro type players. Jalen Carter is defensive player of the year material. He's Aaron Donald material. He's Jerome Brown material. Again today, what does he do? Gets involved in a sack. Very next play, he doesn't give up on the play. Goes and forces a fumble on the running back. And then when the running back's down trying to get to the ball, he hits him again like a champ. Like a champ. I love that kid. Love him. Can't say enough good things about Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. And here's the thing. I love a player that doesn't give up on a play. You know how pissed off I used to get watching defensive linemen when a play's behind them and goes, they just quit on it. They don't even stop. And if they would have hustled, they would have got involved. Jalen Carter hustles and forces a fumble. Jordan Davis did the same thing week 1. Hustled, hit Zeke Elliott, and forced the fumble. These guys are monster studs. They're studs. They're studs. How can anybody even talk bad about these guys? It's crazy to me. To me, they've been them two have been the most consistent players on the team all year, in all 3 games. They're in every game. They're impact. You can't run on this team with Jordan Davis. He's a monster. Think about Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter when they're 4 or 5 years in and they've learned all the little intricacies of playing a position and where to use their hands and how to get away with certain things and how to do things. These guys are going to be dominating. If the Eagles add a premier pass rusher, or if a Nolan Smith develops into who I think he could be, and shout out to Nolan Smith, he's another guy we can't forget to talk about. He knocked Baker Mayfield into next week. Next week. Baker Mayfield didn't want nothing after. He didn't want none of the Eagles after that game. He was happy. He was happy that he didn't have to go back out there after their final possession. He didn't want none of it. Great hit by Nolan Smith. But if they got those two defensive tackles going forward, and then you add a premier pass rush, let's say you can get Nolan Smith to be a 15, 16 sack guy every year. You're talking about the best defensive tackle combo in the history of the Eagles. Jerome Brown was great, but they had what's his name, Mike Pitts. He was next to him, and Golick would rotate in. He never had somebody like a Jordan Davis next to him. Okay, but if you add a guy on defensive end, you're talking about one of the best defensive lines that we've seen in a long time, since those old Reggie Jerome days. It makes me so happy that I'm sitting there talking about Jalen Carter like Jerome Brown. I couldn't wish for anything more. The NFL will come to regret the day that they let Jalen Carter go to the Eagles. It's the truth. And the poor Cowboys, they're trying to tell people MAZI Smith is somebody special. The guy stinks. Stinks. You want to talk about busts? Start with him. Yeah, Morrow, that safety Morrow got. Great play by Morrow to get in there and read that. But also, go back and watch Jordan Davis on that play. He got two blockers, and he really created the hole for Morrow to come up in. Just a tremendous defensive line. You can't run on this line. I think somebody said, forget who it was, so forgive me, but I think they said that right now the Eagles have the best running offense in the National Football League and the best against the run defensively. If you have that, you're going to win a lot of games. A lot of games. And yes, the Eagles, you can complain and you can nitpick, and we do that all week. Not on these celebration videos. To me, I enjoy it. I enjoy it. But the Eagles, they haven't even started peaking yet. You want to peak at the right time in the NFL. Not in September when the Cowboys want to peak. Speaking of which, I will talk about that game. I got to talk about it a little bit. This might be a little longer cigar video. I hope you could take it. Maybe at Christmas, when I do all the Christmas stuff, one of these days I might bring a TV out in my garage and stuff, because it gets so cool, and then do a live stream one of the games from the garage. I think that would be crazy. I think the police would be here by the second quarter because I'm so loud. I drive by people all the time. They go, great win, Eagles won. I'm like, I don't even know who the person is, but they know me because I'm so loud on Sundays that you can hear. Everybody, the whole block can hear. It's funny. It's very funny. Oh, I thought I had cigar stuff with me. Dallas looks bad. Dallas is going to play New England. I assume they're going to be much better, but New England's defense there's nobody to sleep on. And Belichick is going to look at exactly what they did and try to do the same thing. He's going to try to run the ball on the Cowboys. And if they run the ball like the Cardinals run the ball last week, Dallas is going to lose again. Dallas loses again, then they got to go to San Francisco. They're going to lose that game. It's over. Good night. I look at the Eagles' schedule. I don't take the Commanders lightly. I think Howell is a good young quarterback, but the Eagles need to go look at Buffalo. They need to go look at what McDermott did. Okay, McDermott comes from the Jim Johnson tree. The Jim Johnson tree believes in staying aggressive, being aggressive, attacking. It also does not allow young quarterbacks to ever have success. You always bring enough things, you confuse them enough that they don't know what to do. You never saw a young quarterback have success against Jim Johnson. I'd say if a quarterback was 2 years in, there's no chance he's going to have success against Jim Johnson. The Eagles need to look at that, and they need to be aggressive versus the Washington, because I think you can confuse Howe into mistakes and give him things he's never seen. And I think the big advantage the Eagles have versus Washington is going to be that defensive line versus that offensive line. Now, Washington has a great defensive line. They do, but it does get neutralized somewhat by the Eagles' great offensive line. Still, it's a hell of a defensive line, and the advantage is going to be the Eagles' defense. And I think you got to confuse Howe. It's going to be a tough game. I think it'll be a fourth quarter game, but if you get the 4-0, then I think you have a great chance against the Rams and against the Jets. That means you're going into that Monday night game versus Miami. And I'm thinking, dude, Miami looks scary. They do. I'm not saying we're going to lose them, but I think this is one of those classic, I guess it'll be a Sunday night game. It's going to be one of those classics, 41-38 type games. I think it'll be something like that. Another plane. The plane. You know what's really tough? Who's this? I don't like the way that car turned. That was a weird turn. I was like, you're on the wrong side of the road. It's really tough when you look like Denzel Washington. I know a lot of people think that I look like, they think I am Denzel Washington. And they're like, I didn't know Denzel Washington had a channel. Hey, Denzel, you're an Eagle fan? I'm not Denzel Washington. I know I look like him. Every time I go out, people ask for my autograph. They think I'm Denzel Washington. I'm not. It's hard. It's hard around here when everybody thinks that you're in town to film a movie. What the hell's wrong with these people? Man, I tell you what, that stream, the Eagles game tonight, I got freaked out, man. Because the little kids, we got all these like 6 little kittens, like 4.5 weeks old. One of them got their head caught between the frame of the bed and the wall. I don't know how they did it, but they did, and they couldn't get it out. And the mom was trying to help them, and all the kittens are trying to help, and they're all freaking out, making noises. That's why I had to play the Michael Anthony meltdown clip. And I had to go check, and I'm trying to check, and I'm grabbing the cat, trying to get the head out, and I'm pick the cat up. The cat starts screaming loud at the kitten because it's scared. The mom starts hissing at me. I'd never seen the mom hiss at me. And then, of course, I got the kitten's head out, and it came and sat with me, and it was just like, it just sat there like, thank you, and it just sat there for a while. And it was kind of freaked me out. And I always worry about the kittens. I can't take seeing like the death of a kitten or people. Like, I'm not very good with death. I don't handle death good. Not that I'm scared. I'm not scared to die. I'm more scared of having to watch other people die. So that freaked me out. I don't know why I'm telling you guys this. It just come to my mind. I was just thinking about that cat. Like, I want to go see, make sure that cat's okay, which it is, but it freaked me out. Let me give you guys some advice. If you ever want to start a channel, and you ever want to start streaming, one of my recommendations is do not eat on camera. Do not. It's disgusting. People don't want to hear. Unless they're doing, I guess, ASMR crap, which is the stupidest thing anymore. Oh, it makes me feel tingly. What the hell are you talking about? To make you feel tingly? It's annoying. I know, man, this world's crazy. But don't eat on camera. People don't like it. You'll see what I mean tomorrow. So, yeah. What else am I talking about? Defense was good. I think I've mentioned all the guys. Oh, special teams. Crash test Britton Covey. They say Covey, not Covey. I like Covey, but What a game from him. 50-yard return. I thought he was tremendous tonight. If we can get this week in and week out from him, I'm loving it, man. They brought him up. They showed faith in him. Shout out to coaches, and he delivered, man. Big run backs today. If we can start getting guys like that, if we get good punt returns during the season like that, Eagles are going to be even more dangerous. I don't even think that was his best punt return. I think the best one might have been after the safety, where they kicked it. The dude, their punter was ridiculous. They kicked it to like the 2-yard line, like 70-yard kick. But he returned it to only the 22, 23, but it was such a great return to just get back to that. I was really impressed. I really liked that the way he played, so he deserves credit. And then shout out to Devin Allen. They brought him up and they put him on kick returns. That's great. Now, he only got a chance to return one. That's fine. Eventually, he'll get his chance and he'll make his mark because he's got his speed. He's got the speed. I think the Eagles' special teams could become very, very dangerous by the end of the year. I was really happy with that. And as far as Brian Johnson and the coaching, I thought Brian Johnson did a much better job. I didn't like the 4th and 2 call to Gainwell. I thought they outsmarted themselves. Sometimes I think they overthink things, but I think he's getting used to it, and I think he's getting better. And as far as Sean Desai, my only issues with the defense tonight are this. I still think you play too far off sometimes, right? If it's 3rd and 3, why is Slay and Job, why are your corners 8 yards back? Because the quarterbacks are going, especially when playing the Eagles, they want to get rid of the ball quick. And if you allow them to have that much space, all they have to do is take the ball 1-2, boom, and you get it out, and they're 6-7 yards. Now, if it's 3rd and 3, it's a first down. I'd like to see a little more up, play a little more bumper on it down. I'm not saying every down, but on 3rd and 3, things like that. I know that they're so worried about the big play and getting beat over the top, but I think you got to take a chance sometimes. And I'm okay if you give up the occasional big play, if you come out with more plays because you press. And I think if you make the quarterback hold it a little more, I think guys like Reddick will start getting home. Now, a lot of people are worried about HAASON Reddick. Go back and look at Reddick's last 3 years. He's streaky. He could go a month with no sacks, 1 sack, and then he'll have 2 months in a row with 6 sacks each month. Reddick is that guy. He'll get it figured out. But I do think if the Eagles, on 3rd and 3s and things like that, if they played a little more up and made the quarterback hold the ball a little longer, I think Reddick will get home. I think he'll get home. I definitely do. So I'm not worried about Reddick yet at all. And then the other thing is, that gets on my nerves about the defense, and it was the same problem last year. I don't like when you break the game open, right? It's 25 to 3. You break it open 25-3, and then they come back, and the offense comes back on the field, and after you score, they get the ball back, and they go right back down the field and score a touchdown. Now they're still down 14 because they had to go for 2, but why is it always the very next series after breaking it open that we give up a touchdown? Don't take your foot off the gas. It's too early. I don't understand 2-3 series later, but why is it always the very next series? Those are the things I want to see them work on defensively. I do. I'm talking a lot tonight. It was a great win. I hope I didn't leave anybody out. Coaches, everybody, shout out. Big win. Eagles played much better. And we're getting better. And we're running at about 70%. Wait till we hit 90, 95, December, January. It's going to be bowl time. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, won't be a dingbat. Remember, it's how we vision. We're all just living in it. Oh, you're still here? Oh, what's going on? I'm just sitting here smoking. My last post-credit scene last week, I talked about my friend, right? And he, of course, texted me, what did you talk about that for? What did you talk about that for? I said, well, what's the situation with your girlfriend? Because I don't know if you saw the post-credit scene last week, but I basically told him what to write in his thing and what to look for. I'm like, what's going on with the girl? He's like, oh, she's going great. I go, how? Her hands are real small, right? He goes, yeah, very, very small. I go, does it make you feel better? He said, actually, yeah, it does. Thank you. I said, well, what are you complaining about? You know what I mean? Stop worrying. Worry too much. He's like, yeah, all right. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know. I've been married 16 years. You don't think I know these things? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you have to go back and watch last week's video. But last week's victory celebration post-credit scene. But I was wondering, do you think it's possible that Mark Holmes is like part chicken? Like, can you suck the DNA out of a chicken wing so much so that the DNA of the chicken wing connects to you? Like, will Mark start growing like wings and stuff? I wonder. I really wonder. The Cowboys are scared. Scared. Cowboys quiet. I didn't see any Cowboys trolls. Where was Westy Rock? Where's Texas? These guys disappear because their team stinks. They stink. And we got a big game this week. Denzel Washington out.
Oh, God. No. I want to be like the Eagles.